Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today's review will be about Hangtime, a Gertslaur Infinity coaster at Knott's Berry Farm. Right off the bat, I just want to say that this ride took me off guard. By no means is it an intense ride, but it's an extremely fun one. Looking at the ride from the midway and from the queue, it doesn't seem to go all that fast half the time, but you're actually going extremely fast on the ride, which is just crazy how fast it runs. Something that I actually found that also surprised me was that even in the slower sections of the ride, you just rip through the elements, and sadly, that kind of works against the whole theme of the ride, but that's for later. Your ride begins on this vertical lift, which is just, that was terrifying to experience. For someone like me with a bad fear of heights combined with the very open feels of the laugh bar restraints, this was easily the scariest part of the ride, however, it was something that was really fun to experience. The same can also be said about that holding break. Man, this was my first dive coaster, and I can confidently say that I was not disappointed. It was well paced, it was smooth for the most part, and offered some nice, albeit light forces. And it even had some good moments of airtime. The two main areas where you'll experience negative G-forces are at the top of that first drop, since, it's beyond vertical, and the small airtime hill just before the cutback. By no means were they super intense like you would see on something in the park like Ghost Rider or Accelerator, but they were still good fun to experience. One thing I do have to talk about, however, is the lack of hang time. I know it's ironic, but it's true. I mentioned a couple of times how well paced the ride was, but by no means does that actually give you any hang time. The ride never really allows you to hang upside down for a second or two. The lap bars and the seatbelts are actually pretty forgiving on the rider, but I barely found myself coming out of my seat. It's a shame because Full Throttle, a premier launch coaster at my home park Magic Mountain, manages to give more hang time in one element than hang time's entire layout. That's kind of funny actually. Also, just as a piece of advice for anyone visiting the park, this should probably be one of the first rides you do of the day. Not only will the ride run slower and give you actual better hang time, but the lines are only going to get longer, and I've seen this ride's queue hit max capacity before lunchtime, which is just insane. Just make sure that this is the ride that you don't want to wait in line for, because by the time you'll get off, you'll probably have a line starting to form for Accelerator, and by the time you get all the way to the other side of the park to reach Ghost Rider, an hour-long line's already going to be there waiting for you, so make sure you keep that in mind. One more thing I found kind of odd was this weird part of the inverted top hat. It was just kind of janky. You don't really notice it at the start, but the moment you hit that small kink in the track, it just shakes the entire car. It's kind of weird. I don't know how that happened. Overall, I absolutely loved Hangtime. Knott's Berry Farm really needed a coaster like this, and I'm really glad they got this back in 2018. As an overall score, Hangtime gets an 8 out of 10 from me. What do you think about Hangtime? Do you love it or do you hate it? Let us know in the comments down below. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.